Today's run-up show will feature opening remarks from General Manager Bill Armstrong, forward Nick Schmaltz, and SCG Chairman and CEO Ryan Smith, followed by Q&A. First, let's roll the video. I'll start with Bill.
Yeah, I'm going to start off this press conference the same way I started off last time. We kept this secret. This has been done for a while now. And the reason why we didn't get out there in front of it, Nick's a great human being. I've known him for a long time, going through the rebuild with him, and we wanted to make sure this was special. Same reason that Coach is in the front there. He wants to make it special too, because Nick is an important piece of our franchise. Anytime that you can get one of your core players locked down for long term and in the prime of his future, and get him locked down to your team is a huge moment for this organization. I would say this, that there's a lot of players lately on our team, the Logan Cooleys, the Gunthers. They've committed long term to the franchise, the vision of winning a championship. And Nick's no different than him, those players. They've committed to Utah. They've chose Utah. The thought of losing Nick left me sleepless night after night after night, and thinking about what he was going to get in free agency. And then finally we reached out to his agent, and we were able to have conversations. And in those conversations we're mutually agreeing that we both liked each other and that this was a good fit, and this could be a good fit for a long time. And that was an important part of our talks. But just to let you know some other things about Nick, when you go through a rebuild as we did, you really understand the character of a person. We had a lot of people bail on us. We had a lot of people not play well, not hard, didn't want any part of it. Nick was actually the opposite. He bought into it, he embraced it, and he drove through it. And then he's one of the reasons right now we're sitting in an opportunity to get into the playoffs. He got better every single practice. He bought into what Coach was teaching. He bought into the culture. And, this young man I've known for a long time. I can remember watching him in the USHL and in North Dakota winning a championship and saying to myself, wow, is this guy skilled? And then the next thing I thought was, wow, I want him on my team. And sure enough, it ended that way. And as we go through the process, we didn't want to lose him. He's such a valuable key piece of our organization. And when I say that, he has a unique ability. And the reason Coach is in the front row too is that he can play if you're up a goal or down by a goal in the last minute. He can play left wing, he can play center, he can play right wing. He can play in the power play. He can play in the PK. He is a huge minute muncher on our team that has maximum importance. And like I said, I lost a lot of nights sleeping thinking that we weren't going to get him back. And, it's such an integral part of our organization to sign this young man today and make him a part for a long time. I'd like to thank Ryan and Ashley. They have had a massive commitment along with SEG to keeping our core players here in Utah and signing them long term. That's a huge thing for us, and we really appreciate that, along with these incredible facilities. It's been amazing. I'd like to thank Nick as he went through this process. Don't think it's easy to play with this contract negotiation on your back. From the moment he got here in training camp, incredibly professional. And we got through the process, and his agent, Kurt Overhart, is in the front row here. He had a huge impact on that, getting that done and helping Nick stay here. I'd also like to thank Chris Armstrong, David Ludwig, and our hockey ops. for putting the time they did into this signing and getting it done. It was huge. I just want to congratulate Nick on signing that. We're looking forward to him driving us into becoming a championship organization for a long time to come. Congrats. Well deserved.
Yeah, look, these are fun, right? We've had a couple of these, and I remember talking to Nick earlier in the year and just said, hey, Nick, like, there's no question that you need to be here, and we want you here. This is going to become a math equation, and I'm just so thrilled that we both were able to see that, and really his desire to want to be in Utah, because, I mean, let's just be honest, he's 2 months away or whatever it is from being able to choose where he wants to go, and there's a lot of suitors out there, and us being able to work together and do this is pretty special. But Nick was one of the first people that I was able to talk with as we went down to Scottsdale that famous day and said, hey, you're all coming to Utah. And he's also a kid who was just blessed with a lot of talent. He can play all those positions, and he's a scratch golfer. So like that's how our relationship began. But talk about professionalism coming through. I've seen enough players in sports when a contract's hanging over them or they're trying to go, weird stuff starts happening. And the only thing that's happened with Nick is he stepped into the center role when Logan and others have kind of had to go around and just absolutely outperformed and been a team player, and we've never heard a word. And those are the type of people you want around. Those are the people I want in our organization. And so for us, all of those little things have gotten us to today, and we're just super proud of you, and we're excited for the future. And I think it's also, if you look at the commitment with Logan, with Dylan, with Nick, and kind of where we're going, it's just getting started.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm honored to be in Utah for another 8 years. Like you guys said, a couple of months away from free agency, but I think I love playing in Utah. I love being here. I think it's a great place to live. My fiance and I love it here, so we're super excited to get settled down and hopefully find some real estate here and go from there. But no, I want to thank everyone, my family, fiance Abby, Kurt, thanks for all the hard work, Bear, everything you've done for me over my time here, and Bill and Ryan. Ryan and Ashley, thank you for committing to me long term. That means the world to me and my family. And no, it's awesome. It's we got guys locked in long term. It just shows the commitment to winning here. And I think we're right on the edge of being a really great team. We got all the pieces in place. I know we're only going to get better. And I'm just super excited to be here and do whatever I can to make sure I live up to the commitment that you guys made to me.
Nick, when it comes to just this entire process over the past 2 years, how has being in Utah, being a part of this organization, helped you take that next step in your game? And as you look to the future of trying to bring a Stanley Cup here, how will this organization and Utah continue to help you in that pursuit?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the tools they give us here. I think Ryan and Ashley, they've given us every single tool to get better every single day. They've built this amazing practice facility. They've done stuff at the Delta Center, renovations to make the building better. I don't know. It just seems like they're all in on us. They do whatever it takes to win, and they make our job easy just to go out and perform. So it takes away a lot of that off the ice stuff you don't have to worry about. So it was a no-brainer for me to stay here, and I love my teammates. I love playing with these guys, and we got a really bright future.
Nick, congratulations. Speaking of your teammates, how important was it for you to not only remain in Utah to play with all the guys, but especially a guy like Clayton Keller?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been with him and Krauser for almost 7 years now, so it's we got a special bond, and I think me and Kells is a special chemistry that you can't really find around the league. So he's definitely a guy I want to play with for the rest of my career. He makes my job a lot easier, and we read off each other super well. So I've had a blast playing with him and other teammates as well, but I think me and him have a special chemistry.
Ryan, like you said, you've signed a couple of these contracts now. 2 years into this ownership, what is the perception of the NHL in Utah?
Well, I think we all know that it's something that we didn't know we needed. You know, I think I've said that before. I think hockey, you know, if you look at what just happened in the Olympics, you look at where it's going, you know, you just need to be exposed to it and you fall in love with it. And it's not just a sporting event. It's, you know, if you look at, it's the life lessons. Like I look at Nick, like Nick had a rough go at the beginning of last year where you didn't score as much as you did. And like the teammates and everyone rallies around him, and then you look at what he's done this year, it's incredible. And like, this is hockey, this is life though. And so there's life lessons in every single part of this where, you know, they make up for each other, they pick up for each other. You know, we have a player that goes down, it's next man up mentality. That's actually like a great representation of everything else we do. You know, you go downstairs, the guys are eating together. You see how they support each other, how they stick up for each other. This aligns almost perfectly with the values we have here in Utah and the values that I think I want to teach my kids and go up. And this is what I love about the sport. And so we're pretty bullish on where this is going to go. I also don't think it needs to take away from anything else we're doing. It's not like basketball needs to lose for hockey to win. I actually think, you know, if I look around at SCG, we've got two of the greatest, you know, sports that are out there for our community to rally around. And, you know, you don't have to look further than just leave the arena at 11 o'clock at night or when it's over. And you just see the streets flooding out with jerseys. And that didn't exist. That didn't exist 2 years ago. And so I think if you look at the local businesses, the impact, you look at what it's doing for Utah, to think about 2034 and those games being played in our arena at the Delta Center and an actual NHL arena, it gets pretty exciting, and I think people are already looking forward to it. I also think if you look at just from a team standpoint, you look at having Nick and some of the older guys around with some of our youth movement, like it's getting set up to be, you know, pretty special where we've got the right mix of what we're trying to do. And so I couldn't be more bullish. I'm a fan first. It's what I like to do. And then as you get to know the guys, and I think the community gets to know the guys, it's even more impressive.
Nick, congratulations. This has been a career year for you statistically on the ice. How much has the contract status kind of motivated you on the ice?
Yeah, I think a little bit for sure. Obviously, you try not to think about it, but it's definitely in the back of your mind. You know, it's life, and you got to play through it. But I think it's been pretty easy for me this year. Our team's been playing really well, and you know, we're trending in the right direction. We're obviously in a good spot where we want to be down the road here. But yeah, definitely thought about it a little bit, but I just try to take it day by day and work as hard as I can, come to the rink every day with a positive attitude, and bring whatever I can to help the team win.
And then Ryan, Nick talked about it just earlier in his introduction there. He said that the facilities and all the things that you guys have been pouring into this franchise have been factors in wanting to stay. Does it feel like things are starting to pay off now? All this hard work and obviously capital and everything that's gone into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we weren't going to do hockey unless we were going to do hockey. And I think people are starting to see, people are starting to see Utah's actually a place I want to live. Especially with, you know, being an athlete and how loud it gets and how many people hit you on social media and everything else. Like, the answer is go touch grass, you know? And that's what we get to do. You leave this facility, you've got that beautiful mountain range right in the back. You can get anywhere around here. You can fly anywhere. Like, Utah's pretty special, and I think everyone's starting to see that. And it's a great home base. And I think that's a part of it. The community in itself, you know, being able to do this. I'm sure we're going to release the stats of what we've seen as we've opened up this facility, the community. It's unbelievable. I got an update today. I was blown away with our scheduling and what's happening. And so, you know, it's a little bit, if you build it, they will come. Well, we need to build more because they're coming at everything we do around hockey, which is pretty cool.
Bill, as you've watched Nick go from rookie to now veteran leadership, what are some of the key aspects you want him kind of showing these top prospects that you have coming in?
Well, he's a model every day by the way he plays, the way he shows up. You know, he's putting a lot of time in to getting better in the summer. And I think, you know, when him spending time with our young kids and talking about, you know, the things you have to do and how you have to approach the game. But he does a lot of that by just modeling it. He lives the right way off the ice. He trains hard in the summer. He does all the little things. And he's a great teammate. You know, he's one of those guys in the locker room that, you know, nobody wants to play him ping pong because he'll beat him. Nobody wants to play him against golf. He'll beat him. He's super talented, you know, as an athlete, and you know, he's just a good human being, and he models that every day, and that just comes naturally for him. So I think there's a way that you have to play to win a championship. I think he plays the right way. I think that's why Coach plays him all the time in all those situations, because he believes in him, and that's hard to come by. So he's modeling mostly by the way that he plays. That's the best way you can do it.
Bill, I want to ask you about the losing sleep about not signing Nick.
Yeah.
He's having a career year. He's had great moments with the hat trick and that stealing the puck away in the open net against Philadelphia. As he's having those moments, are you like, oh man?
Well, yeah, because because I'm normally woken up once I do get to sleep by his agent texting me, reminding me that he did have a hat trick that night and he's available to talk in the morning. So I was very aware of the nights. I will tell you a great story. His fiance Abby is just awesome, and so he gets like the hat trick, you know, and I kind of scanning the crowd, you know. It's kind of an exciting moment, and you know, I kind of catch someone looking at me, and I realize it's her, and I'm like, it's kind of like awkward moment, you know, and I kind of like turn away. I'm like, was she staring at me? And then I look back down, and she's glaring right at me. She's locked right in. She's like, ah! So some good moments there, but yeah, no, it's it crosses your mind as he's going through. But the one thing I would say about him, if you look back in his statistics, he's a pretty consistent player. You know, he delivers every year. He might go through his up and downs in certain ways, but he's a pretty consistent player overall.
Nick, Bill mentioned earlier how some guys maybe didn't see this through and kind of gave up. What did you see in the franchise that maybe others didn't see that led you to believe you wanted to stick this out and see this through to this point?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty loyal guy. I think I committed to Arizona for 7 years, and obviously it was some tough times there, but I don't know. I liked the group we had. I thought I saw a light at the end of the tunnel. I knew at some point it had to turn around, and you know, I wanted to see it through and be a part of the rebuild and kind of build it from the ground up. And then you can see the steps we've taken. It's been fun to see, and the new guys we're bringing in, the young talent, and I'm super happy that I did that, and I think it means a lot to, you know, grind through those years, because then it makes the good times that much better. So I'm really happy that I did that, and I'm looking forward to, you know, keep getting better every year, and hopefully get to that end goal of winning one day. That's our goal. So that's kind of my decision.
Bill, when it comes to building a championship team, you do need continuity, and you need a group of players that are there for a large majority of that pathway up. Now that you have 7 players who have signed multi-year contracts staying here in Utah, including Nick, how do you feel that will impact in that championship pursuit?
Well, nobody really wants to hear this, probably including the owner, but it takes a long time to win a championship in the NHL. I think the average like 12 years. It takes a long time. So you have to keep your group together. When you find players that have the right chemistry, you have to try to fight to keep them together. Hockey is a different breed. just with trying to build teams and getting them to all work together, and the synergy that is produced that gets you over the hump in Game 7 sometimes is players being together for 7 to 8 years. And so it does take a while for your team to kind of forge that bond, and I believe we have that, you know, and when you get guys locked in for long term, you give yourself a bigger window to win a championship together.
Nick, how would you spoke to it a little bit earlier, but how would you describe what it's like to play here, and what about that enticed you to the point of wanting to be here as long as possible?
I think, I mean, for me, it was honestly probably that first day we got here to Utah, stepping off the plane from Arizona, seeing hundreds and hundreds of kids just lined up, so excited to have the NHL team, and then going to the Delta Center that night, sold out crowd for us just to walk on the stage. It's like, it was eye-opening. It was like, wow, I did not know Utah was like this. So that was super, I think that was a big part of it. I think the passionate fans, the ownership, obviously, the team, and just the living here, I think, is great. It's super easy. People are super nice here. Everyone seems to get along. Everyone's rallies around the teams. I like that feel. And yeah, I think it's a special place, and it's kind of cool to be in a new franchise and, you know, be a part of that as well. So yeah, it's just an awesome place to play and live, and couldn't be happier to be here for 8 more years.
Bill, you mentioned keeping these guys together for long periods of time with obviously the addition of Nick to this long-term plan. That core that you started with years ago, what's the identity of that core now, especially with this new addition?
Well, obviously Nick's a big piece of that, but the core is talented. You know, you've got the likes of J.J. Peterka, Veg Malko, we didn't even talk about, Cooley and Gunther along with Nick, and a host of, you know, I believe to be 7 really good prospects coming through the door. So it's an exciting time. You know, I think to get over the hump, and the difference maker was getting Nick signed. That's a big piece for us, just because he plays in so many key situations, and he'll allow some of the youth to come and play with him because of his hockey sense and what he accomplishes on the ice. He'll make that adjustment to us in getting players. You put a good centerman in there in the middle of the ice, you can make the guy left or right or way better, and that's what he'll do. And hopefully at some point in time you'll see one of our elite guys, whether it's the T.G. Inlas of the world or the Desnoyers of the world, playing beside him, and him leading the way. So it's going to help that adjustment to us getting some good youth prospects in here a little bit quicker and helping our team take that next step.
Bill, I know we talked about it a little bit. How are you sleeping now that this deal's officially in the books?
Well, his agent's not texting me anymore, so I'm sleeping a lot better. But yeah, this is really a key for us too. You know, it's a good sign. I think also too, just in terms of, you know, we're always very protective of our environment for our players. We call it negotiating with like the soul of the player when you're doing contracts, and making sure that there's, you know, everybody understand it's business, but we try to treat everybody right in that environment. And our players on the other side of this walls were extremely excited about getting, you know, Nick signed. It's making the team, not only am I sleeping better, but the rest of the team will be too, including Clayton Keller. So,
Any more questions? All right, thank you everybody. Congratulations, Nick. We'll do a few photos.